Hello, students of the University of Kentucky. This is Katie Moody, and you are listening to the Johnson Center podcast.
Hey there, cutes, put on your dancing boots and come dance with me. Come dance with me, what an evening for some terpsichore. Pretty face, I know a swing.
On the southernmost part of campus, there is a large, gray, stone building surrounded by many grass fields. When you walk through the glass doors, you will find lifting equipment galore on the first floor. Up the spiral staircase, you enter the second level of the building that contains a large running track and a lot of cardio equipment. For many of you students here at the University of Kentucky, you know this place to be the Johnson Recreational Center, and some of you may know this place rather well. I too am very familiar with this spot on campus, as I myself go every morning to get a good workout in and meet new people. Yet I have seemed to notice something bothersome about this place and many other buildings like it on campus. This problem was that no one within the rec center really knew or cared about who the building was dedicated to. The Johnson Recreational Center should more prominently honor and recognize Bernard M. Johnson, who this building is named after, so that all who travel past and inside may be properly informed and educated about the man from whom the building received its name. When I go into the gym in the morning, I do not have time to think about dedication or respect of the man behind the building. I simply go in to use the equipment and leave without another thought. I'm focused on the workout that I'm doing and also occasionally distracted by the smell of BO and watching other people work out. I'm sure many of you are the same way. That being said, the building's dedication is rather pointless. If no one inside will take the time to give their respects to that particular person who had an influence on campus, then like I said, what's the point? My job and the purpose of this podcast will be to make all of you a little more aware and a little more thankful for the man who the rec center was dedicated to. Before we dive deep into the Johnson Center's memorialized purpose, I interviewed a few students to get their opinions and knowledge on the subject. I wanted to see if they knew who the Johnson Center was named after and whether or not the Johnson Center is truly a good place to be both a gym and a memorial.
And while the rhythm swings, what lovely things I'll be saying. 'Cause what is dancing but making love set to music playing when the band begins to leave the stand.
The two students who were interviewed were Cole Austin and Hiba Khan. Both of these students here are freshmen at the University of Kentucky and frequent the gym on a regular or most often basis. My first interview was with Cole. So how often would you say you go to the Johnson Center?
I probably go 2 or 3 times a week.
And what is your workout routine there?
Just the usual stuff. Lots of arms and chest. Skip leg day, no cardio.
Alright, so the Johnson Center was named after Bernard M. Johnson. What do you know about Bernard M. Johnson and his contributions to the University of Kentucky?
The only thing I know about him is the Johnson Center is named after him. I'm unaware of any contributions he's made.
Okay. So have you ever seen the plaque of Bernard M. Johnson inside the rec center?
No, can't say that I have.
And say you saw a plaque of someone at a rec center in general. Would you take time to read it? Why or why not?
I'd honestly glance at it as I walked by. I'm here to work out. It's 6 in the morning before class. I really don't have time to read a plaque though.
Okay, so can you describe what is going through your mind during a workout?
I'm just there to get a good lift in. I'm just focusing on my weights, how many reps I'm doing, and my form.
And based on your answer, do you think that you would be able to focus on honoring someone or something during your time at the rec center?
No, that's not the time to do that. When I'm in the gym, I'm there to lift. I don't really want any distractions or anything else bothering me.
What is your opinion of the rec center being used as both a gym and a memorial to someone important to the University of Kentucky?
Well, considering his name was in the name of the building, I just figured he donated money to have it built. I didn't even know it was a memorial. Given that, I don't feel like a rec center makes the best memorial for someone.
In your opinion, do you think that Bernard M. Johnson is being honored in an appropriate way and receiving the respect he deserves?
No, not at all. Usually memorials aren't little playgrounds for kids to run and play on.
As a student, do you think you have the ability to make a large and impactful change on campus?
Yes. Through our elected student representatives, I know that they'll listen to our voices and our concerns.
And what ideas do you have on approaching faculty and staff about such issues?
I would write to the president of the university and voice my concerns there.
That was the end of Cole's interview. The next person I interviewed was Hiba Khan. A lot of her answers were very similar to Cole's. She goes to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, and at the gym, she does her own style of workouts, including cardio and Pilates. She has never seen the plaque and has absolutely no idea who Bernard M. Johnson is and his contributions to the University of Kentucky. She, like Cole, says she wouldn't bother to take the time to read such a plaque or pay respects if she's working out. She doesn't think that the Johnson Center is a good place to serve a purpose as both a memorial and a gym. Like Cole and Hiba, I'm sure many of you hold the same thoughts and opinions as they do. These interviews helped me discover how most of the student population feels about the Johnson Center. They don't really know who Bernard M. Johnson is, what he did, or why he is important. Once I knew how the students felt, I decided to dive into research behind the Rec Center to figure out the seeming enigma of Bernard M. Johnson. I wanted to make myself and many other students aware of who he is and what he has done, so that he receives the thanks and respect for his commitment and contributions to the University of Kentucky. So, who is Bernard M. Johnson, and what has he done to receive such credit and dedications? According to an article written by Kelly Bozeman on the Johnson Center's opening, Mr. Johnson began his career at the University of Kentucky as an instructor in the Department of Health and Physical Education. Also stated in the article, in 1969, he became head of the department and the director of Health and Physical Education. Mr. Johnson promoted physical fitness and wellness throughout the campus the entire time he was at the University of Kentucky. Bozeman wrote that he was able to pioneer new ways of making fitness for all of the students both fun and effective. An article from the Kentucky Kernel of September 29, 1965, stated that he had started a new activity at the University of Kentucky that we now know as intramurals. He was head and chair of that organization for as long as he was at the university. As well as articles, I found many images that truly gave me a sense of who he was as a person and what he stood for. The image from the portrait print collection at the Kentucky Archives that you can see in the background for this podcast is a black and white photo of Bernard M. Johnson. He is pictured playing tennis in a white and colored striped polo. In this specific image, he is in his older age of approximately mid-60s. Mr. Johnson is holding the racket up as if he is about to swing at the ball coming at him. In this image, he also has a cheerful disposition on his face. This shows that he loved and cared about physical fitness even throughout his older age, and that he was truly passionate about what he did. All of this research proved to be extremely important information to understanding who Bernard M. Johnson was. Once I found this information out, I had a much deeper knowledge and understanding of who he was and why he was so important to the University of Kentucky. What is disappointing is how his role at the university is hardly shown or appreciated. Yes, he has a building named after him, but it isn't made known why the building was named after him in the first place. What would be the point of naming buildings after important people if the populations inside these buildings did not care or were not given a reason to care who that person was and what they accomplished? Memorials like the Johnson Center are meant to be used as remembrances for us, so that when we come across these memorials, we can pay our respects where they are due. Yet it is hard to do so when the information isn't there to allow us to get to know who these important figures were. The Johnson Center's plaque and name is simply not enough. The plaque is extremely small and out of view for practically anyone working out inside. No one can see the plaque, so no one is going to read it and know about Bernard M. Johnson. Secondly, the building's two purposes conflict with each other. The building being used as both a gym and a memorial is just simply not practical. Similar to what the two students in the interviews stated, when they are working out, they do not have time to think of other people and things. They are concentrating hard on their workout and nothing else. They don't have time to pay respects or say thanks to someone who deserves it. Mr. Johnson is being left out of the picture in his own building. Now that you, the students, are aware of who he is, you can begin to act on your knowledge and opinions. The Rec Center, like many other buildings on campus, serve double purposes as both a memorial and some other use. They take away the memorial's value with acting as another use such as a gym, classroom, office, etc. Our job is to learn more about the people behind the buildings and pay our respects to them in a proper way. We can do things like take time to read the plaque that is on the wall and researching who these people are and what contributions they have made. All of these actions taken by each of us can inspire us and give us motivation to do better in different aspects of our lives. As far as making a change to get these important people more recognition, Cole had given some good ideas. We can go to our elected representatives to voice our concerns and take the issue further. After talking to our representatives, we can even email the president to try to make a change. It is important that we take these steps because these people deserve our respect and gratitude. In the particular case of Bernard M. Johnson, I know that I have become more enlightened through this experience. Once I researched who he was, I felt obligated to speak out on his behalf for the lack of respect that he is receiving. He deserves to be known and honored by all of the people that walk through the doors of the Johnson Recreational Center. So the next time you walk into the rec center, my hope is that you are more aware and more respectful of Bernard M. Johnson and the contributions he has made to the University of Kentucky.
And come dance with me. Come dance with me. What an evening for some Pretty face, I know a swinging place. Come on, dance with me.